This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's get started. Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law. I wish to state that on November 20th, 2020, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township bulletin board, the Upper Township website, and the Town Hall foyer, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being audio recorded up until the closed section portion of this meeting and will be available on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement made a part of the minutes of this meeting. We all rise for the salute to the flag, and Barbara's got a flag back there with her. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Corson?
Present.
Ms. Hayes?
Here.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Here.
All members are present.
All right. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes from November the 9th, both the regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve.
Moved. Second.
All right. Is there any corrections, deletions, omissions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. All in favor?
Okay. So we'll do the report of the governing body members. Scott, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and committee members. I'll start out with the Cambie County Department of Health report. As of today, we've had a total number of COVID-19 infections in Cape May County of 2,534, including 100 deaths. Total active cases for Upper Township is 69. Total fatalities since the beginning of the pandemic is 5. And we've had a total of 320 cases in Upper Township since the beginning. As usual, we strongly recommend that everybody, all the residents of Upper Township and Cape May County, follow all the necessary CDC guidelines with respect to preventing the spread of COVID-19. Those guidelines are available, obviously through the CDC website, in addition to our Upper Township website and the Cape May County Health Department. I also wanted to advise that the Cape May County Health Department will be, over the next several weeks and months ahead of us, will be running a testing center, a mobile testing center for COVID-19. On their website, which is cmchealth.net. You can look for the specific municipalities that are offering this mobile testing center or site. There are a number there. In addition to the dates, they will also have times for the mobile testing centers. Upper Township will be participating. The dates for Upper Township are the, sorry about that, are the 29th and 31st, yes, at Amanda's Field. So again, look for more specific information, or if there are any changes, which we don't anticipate, on those particular dates through the Cape May County Health Department. We'll also provide a link to that through our own Upper Township website as well. And that's actually the first testing period. This actually or they're making available these testing centers through June of 2021. That's how far out they planned it. Obviously, things can change dramatically. Hopefully they will. between now and then with respect to therapeutics and vaccines that seem like they're hopefully in our near future. I have two other requests from our department heads. First, I'll start with our EMS department. Sorry about that. Let's see here. This is for Chief Sampson has requested special training. It's emergency vehicle operator course, EVOC. It's a train the trainer course. The cost of the course is it's a 3-day course, first of all, and the cost of the course is $595. And she is requesting one individual from her department, who has yet to be selected by her, but that this course request be approved by committee.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. In favor?
Very good, thank you. And I misspoke on the other. The other is actually a closed session item. So that is all I have tonight.
Okay. Barbara Young, do you have anything for us this evening?
I just have one little one thing. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and I'd like to remind everyone that offices will be closed on Thanksgiving and on Friday, November 27th, in observance of the holiday. And if your trash collection falls on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day, your trash and recycling will be collected on Friday. And if your trash day is Friday, your trash and recycling will be collected on Monday. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. Dan Young, do you have anything for us?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, going around here. Let's see, Paul, do you have anything for us?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First, I wanted to follow up. I did reach out to Bob Church, the county engineer, and discuss the repaving of Mill Road. He said it is still in their maintenance paving project. However, that project was delayed because of COVID and some other budgetary issues this year. And they're hoping to have that project put out to bid in February for spring construction for the section from Route 50 to Poplar Avenue. The other section is most likely going to be included in a second maintenance paving project that would possibly be put out in the fall of 2021. I did follow up with the Department of Agriculture regarding the gypsy moths. We had a resident at the last meeting ask about their neighborhood off of Marshallville Road, and did check with them, and they did look at that area, and what that resident has is not gypsy moths. And I've got a call into Mrs. Betts to discuss that with her. And then I just wanted to say that our paving project, we got about 15% of the roads done over the last week. And just would remind residents that as Public Works collects your leaves on the streets that are getting resurfaced, please try to refrain from putting the leaves back out there to make the job for the paving crew a little bit easier, so that they don't have to try to get them off the street right before they have to pave. And other than that, Mayor, that's all I had. Thank you.
So can I ask you one question? Is there any updates on what's going on with the Beasley's Point Gateway project?
Yeah, all indications are looking like that we should be receiving our permit the first week in December. It's been, the final approval process is obviously slowed up a little bit because of COVID. So the review person has passed it up to the bureau chief for review and signature. It just takes a little while because they do everything remotely. It takes a while for that hard copy to get moved from one place to another. But we should have I'll say the week after Thanksgiving, possibly the week after, to have a permit in hand, which would allow us to go out to bid for the project. So probably at the next meeting, once I have that permit, I'd probably be looking for committee for authorization to prepare the final specifications and plans to put that project out to bid before the end of the year.
Okay, good. I'd like to stay on top of that one.
Yes.
All right.
That's all I
Anything
had,
else?
Mayor. Nope, that was it.
Thank you. Barbara Ludi.
Good evening, everyone. I have nothing to report this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Committeeman Coggins.
Nothing to report this evening, and happy Thanksgiving to all.
Okay. Committeewoman Kimberly Hayes.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We had the rec advisory board meeting earlier last week, and we're still trying to work through some of that stuff with the COVID restrictions and reopening and what's going to happen with sports. So nothing official to report at this time.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Barr.
Paul, would we have any kind of an update on New Bridge Road? What's going on there?
There again, I think it's still stuck in the same process. I know that they were still waiting on a permit, and I think it's just gotten delayed in their whole, everything was delayed with the COVID as far as releasing projects to go out to final bid. So I anticipate that probably is a spring 2021 project to go to advertising.
They got all their approvals and everything from the residents?
I think they're still missing one. I think that there were some issues, but I think that they're going to try to release it without that. It's a construction easement, and they're trying to work out that process anyway.
Is there anything they need us to do to help them out, or what?
That's what we've done the last time. I actually researched some contact information and kind of put them in. What had happened was there were some people that had moved, so that they were trying to contact a previous property owner. So I kind of gave them some updates and I think that helped them get some additional easements signed that way.
Okay. Just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Corson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving also, and I have nothing at this time.
Okay, I have a couple things. One, as the committee knows, Kim Hayes has become a part of our committee, and she has taken over the responsibility of the recreation and also buildings and grounds. But we haven't really officially determined that, and she's been serving, on the Sports Authority at a meeting, and also with some of the groups that are involved in sports. So I'd like to make a motion that we at least put that in play and determine that Kim has recreation and public works, and public buildings and grounds, at least through the reorganization, which will take place very early in January.
I'll second that.
Second.
Okay. There's
Mr.
no
Barr?
discussion.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Obviously, Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
And
You go, vote for yourself.
and Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Always vote for
Thank you,
yourself, Kim.
gentlemen.
It's a good lesson. And then I would also like to make an announcement that on Friday, December 4th at 6:30, we're going to have the lighting of one of our 2 trees that was graciously donated by Sue Bailey. And it will be the traditional lighting that we have in front of the township hall because of COVID makes it difficult to allow the same group that usually comes. So we're going to attempt to do this at Amanda's Field. And we will have the Upper Township Middle Band play a few seasonal songs as well as the Uptown Singers. And it'll still be sponsored by the Rotary Club of Ocean City and Upper Township. Again, December 4th at 6:30. And there will also be a special appearance by Santa that night for the kids, although we are going to make sure that it's socially distanced. And I would ask that whoever is able to attend to make sure that they wear masks. And we will set up cone areas so that we're comfortable, that we have everybody separated. The new executive order allows us up to 150 people. And so we think that, I mean, in the past, we haven't had that many people in the township hall, and we're kind of hoping it's a nice gathering of the kids and their parents to watch the kids sing and stuff. So it'll be a nice opportunity to try and keep this the season going and kicking it off and do it in a safe and risk-free manner. So I'm trying to think. The other thing, and finally, is we've had everyone wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I would like to at least ask those on this call and the public in general, if you have the ability to help other folks. Our food banks in Upper Township have had a lot of requests from people. It would really be greatly appreciated if you were able to donate a Thanksgiving meal or whatever you can do for the food bank. I think it would be an opportunity to share in our community and let those that are struggling a bit to be able to enjoy a nice Thanksgiving dinner as well. So if you're able to do that, we certainly can give you some resources. I know that there's a big food bank that the Church of the Resurrection has, St. Maximilian Colby Parish. There's some other church groups that are also collecting meals. So anything anybody can do would be greatly appreciated. And if you don't know where to go, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or through the clerk's office, and we can guide you. And I'll even be willing to pick it up and bring it over to the church if you would like to do that. So thank you. All right, Barbara, I'm running this off of my phone as well as my laptop, so I'm multitasking here. So the next thing is the resolutions.
Yes. Okay, item number 1 under resolutions, authorizing the mayor to sign a deed restriction for affordable rental properties for G2 Ventures LLC at block 600, lot 34.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 2, appointing Todd Rammel as a full-time employee to the Upper Township Public Works Department.
Motion to appoint.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. 3, directing the distribution of the Township of Upper's net return surplus funds held in trust by the Atlantic County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. 4, appointing members to the Upper Township Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Move the resolution.
Yeah, second. And just to clarify, it's actually we're moving Karen Mitchell up to the seat that was vacated by Joseph Healy. And then I think we're also in that resolution moving Mark Pankos from alternate 4 to alternate 3. So there will be one open position which will be discussed and likely appointed to the zoning board at the reorganization meeting.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, authorizing the mayor and township clerk to sign a contract with Marcia McLennan Agency for insurance and broker consultant services.
Motion to
Move the
authorize.
resolution?
That's static.
Any idea where that static's coming from, Paul?
Looks like Dan's.
But I'm not doing anything.
Huh?
I'm not doing anything. You have static?
Yeah, up here you
Yeah.
do.
Okay, it's okay now.
Here we go.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 6, tax refund for block 453.10, lot 334.24.
Motion to authorize.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. 7, tax refund for block 661, lot 48.
Motion to authorize.
Second?
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, authorizing a contract amendment for the replacement of Putnam Avenue and Sumner Avenue bulkheads in the amount of $3,760.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Bad now. All right, let me try it again. All right, Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. 9, authorizing the mayor and township clerk to sign and submit an application for a local government emergency fund grant.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I heard. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
can you mute just to see if, like,
Yeah, I
we're,
think it's probably a event that went on. So let me see if I can do something about that.
that's an awfully strong bang.
Hey,
I'm
Mr.
surprised
Barr,
flying all over the place.
Mr. Barr, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 10, budget transfers.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 11, under ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 11, 2020, and ordinance amending revised general ordinance, chapter 18, flood damage control of the Code of Upper Township.
Okay, before I open it up to the public, does anyone on the committee have any further comments? And if not, I'd like to ask Paul to just give a brief summary of what this adoption does.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. The main purpose that we introduced in considering this ordinance was to add some additional programs and requirements for our flood hazard ordinance to increase our CRS rating. Everybody knows that the CRS rating is a program that we participate with FEMA in order to lower the flood insurance premiums for our residents. And so we've included several mechanisms. I'll say that probably the largest change is the requirement for having a flood inspection for properties before they're sold. Other things that we're looking at is requiring a more detailed grading plan before you build, requiring an additional elevation certificate at the time that you do your foundation, just to make sure everything is up to snuff before you continue constructing your home. And I think what other, those are the major items in the ordinance that we were looking at.
Okay.
The biggest thing is the inspection provisions.
Correct. Yeah.
And deed restrictions in that respect.
Okay. Does anybody else on the committee have any comments? Okay, I'm going to open it up to the public then. Does anyone in the public that would like to address this ordinance 11/2020? Now's the time to do so. I would ask that you would unmute your line, state your name and your address and your address to the Township Committee for this hearing. This is just specific for this ordinance. Just want to reiterate, if someone is going to speak, please unmute. Are you comfortable with the time, Dan? It doesn't appear that anybody wants to comment.
Yeah. Paul, are we good? No, it doesn't appear that anyone.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, there's nobody that doesn't have control of their mute to ask me questions.
I'm good, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So it appears that there's no public comment, and let the record reflect that. I'll close the public hearing portion and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt ordinance 11/2020.
Second.
All right, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried with all in favor. Item number 12, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 12/2020, an ordinance establishing salaries for the Township of Upper for the calendar year 2020. And the public hearing for this ordinance will be December 14th.
Okay, but it's the calendar year 2021. I think you said 2020, just so. Anyway.
It is establishing the salaries for the year 2021.
Right, thank you. Is there a motion to introduce, and what date would we have that, December 14th?
December 14th, yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 12/2020.
Second.
All right, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. All in favor. Item number 13, under new business. This is the renewal of the commercial hall bingo license for 2021. And we are required to renew this bingo license prior to December 31st of this year. This is renewal for the license to be permitted to hold bingos at the Upper Township Community Center.
Motion to renew.
Second.
All right, Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried. All in favor? Item number 14, under discussion, we have the draft 2021 Department of Public Works Residential Information Packet. I believe Mr. Reeves has some updates for you on that.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, committee members. We have a few changes to the upcoming collection. One would be, if you're looking at the proposal, would be the we have to add Juneteenth to the school holidays, which I missed when we put this together. Basically, what we're asking for is to change the compost collection much to, well, exactly the same as bulk trash. Bulk trash got changed last year to the first week of the month. We would also like to change the collection for compost for the second week of the month to guarantee the residents that it'll be picked up, it'll be cleaned up. We just completed our first pass through the township this week, which took a week and a half with one truck. I think we can do better than that. I think we can clean this up and get the compost off the street in more of a timely fashion than what we've been doing with being based on the amount of vehicle, based on the amount of employees. We just take that second week of the month, go through township, collect all the compost and get it off the street. The residents, I think, will be a lot happier with this, that it's set in stone, that this will be done in that second week. So this is the basic proposal that we have for you this evening.
So my only concern with that is that people typically put, their grass cuttings and weeds and, anything else in trash cans or bags out on the street. If we're only picking it up once a month, I would think that we might have some issues with, bags that have gotten wet from rain and, start tearing apart, and trash cans that have been out there for, if you put it out there 2 days after that second pickup, then they're not going to pick up for a following month. So, I mean, I'm willing to work, with your suggestion, Craig, but I don't know how we really need to educate people, because they don't clean up in the spring once a month. They clean up probably, if not every other day, it's at least weekly. So, I'm afraid we're going to have a lot of things out on the street for a long period of time.
Rich, as of right now, we're also discussing, as we talked in the very beginning when we got these one arms, in looking at the trash cans. Remember, we talked about the green cans? So we're researching and looking for costs on that to possibly implement a program involving those cans.
I would be certainly, more, I would feel better, I guess is what I'm looking for, if we did something like that. I'm concerned that, like, again, if we have bags and open trash cans for a month, that there'll be a lot of debris going around, and that will just make, we keep things so good and clean with our, trash pickup and recyclable at this point, without cans blowing all over the place. It would be probably advantageous to look into that if we can do the same type of container, I would think.
Well,
absolutely.
That is the plan moving forward, Mayor, to eventually implement a one-arm pickup. This is going to take time. It's going to take an investment, again, on the township's behalf, just like with trash and recycling, to make that happen. But this is the first step into solidifying a guaranteed pickup that, we're coming this week, that we will take care of this. And then moving forward, obviously it's going to take more vehicles. It's going to take things that we can implement with the green cans how many green cans. You know, we're going to have vehicles and trucks to pick this stuff up, but this is the first step to try to solidify guaranteed pickup.
Okay.
Craig, do you?
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Craig, I have a question for you. Do you think you could affect an every other week pickup as opposed to a monthly pickup?
Mr. Coggins, I'm not saying we can't do that. What we're trying to do is guarantee a pickup for this particular time. As you know, we have other duties to perform, even though we send the truck out every day. It takes almost 2.5 weeks to make a full pass.
Right.
I don't have the degree of keeping up with everything else to, you know, put 2 or 3 trucks out in a given week.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe it would be something to look at if we just did a couple times a month, you know, for, you know, say April, May, and into June, and then we don't certainly, I wouldn't think we need it, you know, during the summer months. So, you know, we'll go with the plan and you know, see how things go, and you know, fill us in that those containers. If you do those 95-gallon ones like we have for the trash, that will probably hold a lot of stuff.
Yep, they'll put a big dent in everything.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
That's all I have for now.
That's it? Anything, Scott?
Well, I point back to something, the comment that I made during our last meeting. You're absolutely right, Mayor. This is more of a behavioral change as far as scheduling is concerned. But I point people back to our website, and we'll make the necessary changes so that, as you pointed out, educating the public, that new information will be available to them on their smartphone, so they will know exactly when not only their compost is to be picked up, but also bulk trash and regular trash and recycling collections will be made. So yes, it's an education thing, and I think we've been successful so far doing it through the website. We'll continue to do that, and we do have pricing for the trash cans as well. We're just working on a plan to actually determine with Barb Luty how many trash cans to start the project out with.
If I may touch base, I think that if you're okay with the plan as proposed, we'll need a motion in a second, but it also should be subject to review to make sure an ordinance requirement or ordinance amendment isn't required.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
All right. Would someone like to make a motion to pay the bills?
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There are 4 reports from our municipal departments: Animal Control, Finance Office, Municipal Court, Tax Collector, Affidavit of Tax Sale. Those reports will be available upon request in the clerk's office, but I'll make a motion to accept those reports.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
So we have now reached the public comment portion of the meeting. Anyone that would like to address the Township Committee, now's the time to do so. I would ask that you unmute your line and state your name and your address and your reason for addressing the Township Committee. We'll try and do this as best we can because there's a number of folks on this call. And so I guess as the light changes from red to green, we can recognize you and we can move from there.
Good evening. I'll get started. This is Blanche Adams. I'm representing the Upper Township Business Association. I live at 330 Woodbine Road in Steelmantown. First, I want to welcome Kim Hayes. Welcome to the Township Committee, and the business community looks forward to working with you. Just wanted to mention we have some big shopping days coming up with Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. And the Business Association is participating in Small Business Saturday by promoting specials from our participating businesses. We have grab bags with coupons, specials, promotional items that will be handed out to the shoppers. So I just wanted to let you know that, encourage everyone to continue to shop local, and thank you for your support of our small businesses.
Thank you, Blanche.
Appreciate it. Let us know if there's anything we can put on the website, Blanche, as well, to, help facilitate our small businesses beyond even, small business, Saturday and Black Friday. I mean, if there's any other things that come up, midstream December, let us know. We'll make sure we get it on the website.
Okay, I sure will. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else like to talk to the Township Committee? Seeing anything, Paul? I mean, I'm not.
No, everybody's good to go. So looks like don't have anybody this evening.
Are you comfortable, Dan?
Yes, if Paul doesn't see anyone on the screen trying to speak, I think we're okay.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Dan Willett from Upper Township Basketball.
Yes.
Good evening. 9 Clover Avenue, Tuckahoe, New Jersey. As you know, we've been trying to get our season underway. With us being only limited to the community center, we're trying to maximize our time there. Larry Cole had emailed me today and told me that we were only going to have the community center only Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and we were hoping for Sundays, but he was told today that Sundays the community center is going to be closed completely. We're trying to run a program with 500 kids, and we're limited to 3 days. It's going to be extremely tough to do. We've had it for Saturdays and Sundays for over 20 years.
And who told you couldn't have it on Sunday?
Larry Cole said he was directed by his supervisor.
Was there anything as far as another activity going on, or it was already occupied, or what?
No, it was just because they needed the township employees needed a day off, apparently.
Does anybody, Scott, can you comment on that? Is that because of cleaning issue? What's
I'm not aware of anything, but I will definitely look into this tomorrow, and we'll get back to committee on that. And also Mr. Willett.
Thank you.
Okay.
You okay with that, Fran?
Yeah, we'll see what we can. Yeah, we'll see
okay
what we
with
can
that, Fran?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, we got that news today, and it kind of just took the wind out of our sails. We had some positive response with the letter we sent out to our membership, and we got full responses back from all of our travel programs, and we haven't put it out to our recreational program yet, but we're expecting not a full capacity, but pretty close.
All right, we'll get clarification.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor. This is Linda Bateman, 14 East Tecumseh, Strathmere. A follow-up question to Mr. Morgan about the COVID mobile testing sites. How can people find out about it, and are appointments being taken? Do you know?
It is on a municipal basis, and all that information, Linda, is available through cmchealth.net. Again, that's cmchealth.net. The entire breakdown and any changes relative to dates and times are all available through that particular link, and we are going to add that link to our township website to make it easier for anybody who's interested.
Okay, I just looked quickly and didn't see it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I don't think it's limited to where it's located in the municipality. It's for all Cape May County residents. It's just a matter of where they're trying to spread out the sites, the testing sites throughout the township. You know, obviously, you know, people up in the upper, you know, Cape May County, upper township area, you know, don't necessarily are looking to go all the way down to Cape May or Cape, you know, lower Cape May or something like that. So it's open to anybody in the county from what I understand, but we have our 2 dates. We tried to get them a little bit earlier, but as Scott had stated, we have it on December 29th and 31st here, but they have a number of sites throughout December that are available. And it's really a drive up.
December or November? Sorry.
Yeah.
December or November?
No, we're in December, the end of December.
Okay, sorry. And Scott, I didn't hear if you know our daily case number and how our percentages. I see that we're no longer last. We've moved up. Salem is now last. I didn't hear the daily case.
Daily active case for today was 69.
Okay, so we went
just for Upper Township. Just for Upper Township.
Active.
Well, that's
I'm sorry, I have
the,
a new
that's
case.
the total.
Right.
That's the total resident active cases for Upper Township is 69. Correct.
Okay, I thought that usually you tell us how many new cases there are. You don't have that number?
Yeah, okay. Yep, no, I'll give you that number too. It's for COVID-19 infection in Cape May County is 2,534 and 100 deaths.
Okay,
No,
I'm sorry.
she's looking for she's looking for what was the daily total today. So there was, I think, 8 in upper. I mean, I can if I change to my screen, then I'll probably lose everybody. So if you have that available to you,
Community reported was 8. That's correct, Mayor.
Right. And we have 69 total active cases in Upper Township.
I'm sorry, say that once again.
The Cape May County Herald puts it up every day.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, and I understand that. I just thought, Mr. Morgan, you usually include that in your report, and I thought that I missed it. Okay, and do we know what our percentage is?
Percentage based on the other municipalities. Yeah, I do not have the percentage breakdown.
Yeah, they don't report what we get from the county, Linda, on a daily basis, and it really is 7 days a week because I get the same chart that Scott's getting. It is not reported as percentage on positive cases versus negatives. And that's obviously where they come up with the, you know, the percentage, you know, that pushes you at a higher limit.
Right.
They're not stating the negative cases. They're only reporting active cases that have been reported to the county.
Okay. And thank you. And I want to congratulate Karen Mitchell. If I am correct, I think she's the first Strathmere resident since Elizabeth Burgess to be a permanent zoning board member.
Well, she's already a permanent zoning board member.
Well, excuse me, as an alternate, a voting member. Yes.
Yes. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, we do have 2 Strathmerians on the planning board that are full voting members as well. So.
Right. That's great.
Okay, thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
Anyone else would like to address the Township Committee?
Yes, good evening. How you doing? This is Dave Schultz, Upper Township Wrestling. Sorry to make you guys wait on that. I was getting settled here. I just got back from a college visit, believe it or not, with my daughter over at Rowan. That was pretty cool to get through that.
There you go.
Sorry I was a little late. Anyway, I was kind of listening in on the comments. So yeah, obviously here representing Upper Township Wrestling. As you are probably all aware, we've been kind of waiting on the green light to enter the community center to begin our season. And, you know, we started with, I think, a plan we submitted back in October, October 26th, I believe is the date. There's been plenty of time to review that plan. It's a pretty solid plan. We also submitted or presented it to the rec board committee about a week ago. And we still haven't been given a straight answer on whether or not we can enter and begin our season. We were actually approved to begin practice, believe it or not, on this past Monday. I guess it was today, actually, November 23rd. And we decided to begin our season because we had to get together with the parents and our coaches on November the 30th. And I think it was like 24 hours later, we were told to hold off. And, you know, we could, you know, possibly make plans to enter on December 1st. And at this point, we're probably the most ready to go. We don't have a membership like basketball. At this point, we've got about 57 wrestlers registered on our team. We have protocols and procedures in place to protect our wrestlers, to keep, you know, everyone safe and to mitigate the risk of the COVID-19. And, you know, we want to get in there. We want to start practicing. This has nothing to do with competing with other towns or other organizations. We just want to get the kids in the room and get them working out and get them back to the sport and try and get through this like we did in the fall with a lot of the fall sports like football, cheerleading, baseball, and of course soccer, which all had very successful seasons. And I was hoping tonight to ask all of you for, you know, a decision, if you could, on, you know, whether or not we can enter the room, because we have a lot of people that are eager to get started and get back to it. We have a lot of volunteers that have worked hard to get to this point, and I think we just need an answer at this point, is what we're really lacking.
Well, I'll also defer to Kim, Committeewoman Hayes, but, you know, as you heard from the caller previous, we are limited to one building. The school has not allowed permission to use their facilities for basketball. So now we literally have the community center, and Kim, please jump in if I'm wrong. And so what we need to do is figure out a way to have, you know, a fair share between two sports. And it really is, you know, part of the problem. And it's really also part of trying to figure out a solution here. We have one building. We are limited with capacity levels based on the executive order by the governor. And literally, I think both groups can handle the amount of children that are participating, because it allows you to have participants exempt from that 10-person indoor, and then you escalate upwards. The first 10 are athletes, and then it escalates up with the amount of folks that you need to compete, and then also the coaches and the referees. It doesn't allow for any parents to be able to partake in the sporting events on both sides, meaning basketball and wrestling. And you know, we're trying to be fair to both organizations with a limited amount of space that we have. And that's part of the problem. And on top of it, more than anything, we're also looking at to make sure that the children are safe, to make sure that we're able to clean and follow a lot of the fogging policies that we have in place after each event takes place, or each night of activities. And so that's why it's not like anybody's not trying to work this out. I've had a number of calls with Committee Woman Hayes. I know Larry Cole's involved. I know Scott Morgan's involved. I know Craig Reeves from our Recreation Department's involved. And that's really one of the reasons. It's not that anybody's trying to not make the decision. It's more that we have to make sure that, more importantly, everybody's safe, and that we now have a situation where we're going to have to share two recreation things. And Kim, I would ask that you jump in because you're certainly now more involved with the recreation part of it.
Yeah, so, when we had met with the Rec Advisory Board, I think we came up with some really good ideas to have them sharing the facility, and even, some crossover and some plans for that. We still had some kinks to work out, but we were willing to let wrestling go forward this Monday because they did have a solid plan and they were ready. I know basketball needed a little more time. They had, to go through registration and things like that. Unfortunately, the day after we gave permission, the NJSIAA came out with new guidelines for high school sports, pushing wrestling till March. Now, I understand that this is youth, not high school. However, our fall sports, we did ask them to try and follow that NJSIAA guideline for the fall sports. We made an exception for them as far as their season, because their league wasn't following that to a T. So rather than have them forfeit half their season, we allowed them to start competing early. As far as I'm concerned, I think that wrestling does have a solid plan. I think that we need to, figure out how the crossover between basketball and wrestling is going to work. But, I see Fran and George are both on the line here. If you guys could weigh in, I think your plan is not to proceed until January. So, the rise in COVID cases is a concern. But we're not seeing it in the schools. We're not seeing it among the kids. So I think that's something that we have to talk about as a committee and decide if it's okay for them to go ahead or not. I think everybody has to make that determination if they feel safe and comfortable with it.
In the past, in the beginning of the pandemic, the Township Committee appointed two members. One obviously was the rec department head, and then another member of the committee to make those decisions so that it can be done expeditiously in between Township Committee meetings, so to give the voice of the committee to make a decision in the interim. It may be something that you folks want to do now. I think it was it Hobie and Ed that were on that committee, or was it you, Rich? I can't remember.
It was Hobie and Rich.
Yeah, because I was the one that was making decisions on closure and those kind of things, so we just kept it consistent.
Okay.
And frankly, because of the emergency, our township administrator, under the emergency statute, has the authority to dictate certain procedures and whatnot. Now, Scott, in the past, has run it by the township committee, doesn't do it unilaterally, but I would suggest that the township committee maybe set that, reiterate, because we have a new recreation department head, reiterate that subcommittee, and then address this issue in between the township committee meetings so that decisions can be made. That the full committee gives those two the authority.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
You want to do that again, Rich, with you and Kim?
That's fine, because ultimately some of these difficult decisions are my responsibility, and to rest on making that decision. Although we have, I've certainly kept all the committee in place, but in the beginning, things were happening so quickly. We literally went from opening a place, one of our facilities, to closing it like in a half hour after we got on a conference call. Now, it doesn't seem to be at that level as it was in April or May. And I certainly have no desire to try and not let the kids participate in sports. But I do think that we have to all be very cognizant that just as what happened in April and May, and part of March, if the governor changes his mind, then there's really not much we can do at that point. We're not going to override an executive order because that puts too much of a liability risk on the township. But having said that, I certainly am willing to try and do whatever we can to help facilitate wrestling and ultimately basketball if they get a plan in place that everybody's comfortable with.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that, and I would just like to say also that we've definitely been flexible and more than open to working on solutions to allow both basketball and wrestling to coexist in the community center. Just by layout alone, I think we're okay there. But I understand there's other things we need to consider. But we've definitely
one of the biggest
been
issues,
open
Dave,
to
I
those
don't mean
options.
is the restroom situation.
I
Because
understand.
you can't have bleed, and bleed's maybe not the right, but you can't have the kids from one sport go into the other under the other room, because then you're breaking, the guidelines that have been put in place. So, and there was suggestion of putting porta potties out front. I have personal concerns with that being dark, no parents there and those kind of things. I mean, the traffic runs in and out of the out of that parking lot is something that also needs to be addressed before anything like that could be considered. But, there are things that we could work out. Right now, I think it sounds like, based on what Kim said, that, we have some time at least to work a little bit through December as basketball's getting themselves together. When we get to the two sports, it's going to be more difficult with just having one building to be able to utilize.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. Wrestling should not have to wait on basketball. We're wrestling is ready to roll. So, basketball waits till end of January. Wrestling's been ready to go since October. So.
Yeah, but we were waiting for directives from the governor's office. So, again, just as we did with the fall sports, there was a lot of communication with the Department of Health. There were a lot of communication with the NJISAA. There was a lot of communication with the other towns as to
Yeah,
who was
I can appreciate that.
to compete. So,
understood. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time.
Just to make sure the record's clear, could we have a motion for Rich and to have the authority to address these issues in between township committee meetings?
Motion
I'll make
for
that a motion.
the mayor and Kimberly to take care of all the recreational issues concerning COVID.
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
yes,
Motion is carried. All in favor.
thank you. Anyone else would like to address the township committee? Go ahead, Frank.
Hi, Frank Sanino, 849 Route 50, Petersburg. My first question I'd like to ask is, who is Larry's immediate boss? Because I keep hearing Larry saying, my boss, and I mean, nobody seems to know who his immediate boss is.
Larry works under Craig Reeves, from what I understand.
Okay, so he's in attendance at this meeting also. When Executive Order 187 was passed on October 13th, we were given permission from the governor to practice and have competitions. We're not even looking to have competitions right now. We just want to have our team in there, not bringing any outsiders at this point, which I thought would be the safest thing we could do. There's plenty of other teams in the area. Ocean City's practicing, Vineland's practicing, Clearview is practicing, Delsea is practicing, and a few other teams that I could go on that are actively practicing right now. And actually asked me if we wanted to get together and do matches as soon as we got on the mat. And at this point, I told them no. We just want to get in the room and practice, and not stir up anything or, bring any more. Bring anything on to you guys with, bringing out of town teams in with it going into the fall season, the winter season.
Well, the other issue, Frank, is with out of town teams coming in, obviously somebody has to drive their kids to there. And so those folks are not allowed in. So
I understand.
That's part of the problem.
Well, that's why I totally nixed the idea of having any kind of matches. I just want to get our kids in the room practicing. I spoke with George at basketball, and he had said that they wouldn't be ready until at least the beginning of January. So at least for another 5 weeks, we wouldn't even have a bathroom issue. We could at least get started. And I know the way that the township had laid it out, where we had Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I think they were Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I know I didn't have a problem with it. At least getting in there a few days a week, something is better than nothing. And I mean, I don't know what basketball, I know that doesn't maybe work for them if they have as many kids as they're anticipating, but I don't understand. We put a plan in, the township approved our plan, The government said we can, the governor said we can be in there to practice and have matches, can have competition. I don't understand what the holdup is. We have fog machines. We have a plan in place that you liked. Like, I just don't understand why it's like we're just kicking the can down the road, and it's like it almost seems like the township is just hoping that they shut us down so the problem goes away. You know, I mean, let's make a decision.
That's your opinion. That's not my opinion.
It's my opinion. You're correct. But I mean, I'm not the only one.
We have worked very hard to get to this point to allow wrestling to be able to use the facility. So I really take a little issue with you suggesting that we're trying to procrastinate to have the governor change the rules. That's not the case. And I would turn to Committeewoman Hayes, and she'll tell you, I've talked to her 3 or 4 times, and I've never once said, I don't want wrestling to take place.
No, that's never happened. It's ever changing. The environment's ever changing. I think that personally at this point, I think that you have a good plan in place. The fact that, we don't have to address 2 sports in the same building at one time for at least another, 6 to 8 weeks. I'm okay with practices only, definitely not competitions at this point, with all of those strict guidelines that we talked about. No parents in the room, no outsiders, no other teams. There's a, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just thought that was the safest plan would be to just not even have any outside organizations come in. We don't need to compete right now. We just want these kids to have something to do, to get in shape, to have some sort of a little bit of normalcy in their lives. I hear from the parents, they call me every day and tell me what's going on with their kids. I call to talk to their kids because I haven't seen them in so long, and just a little bit of normalcy for them. My son's not even in the program; he hasn't been in it for 5 years. I did it for these guys.
I think normalcy is important, but it's also hard, and it's not a matter of us kicking the can. It's really just the environment's changing every day. You guys are a great example. We were set, we were ready to go. We gave you the approval, and then the governor comes out with and NJSIA comes out with new guidelines. So, I mean, if the rest of the committee is okay with it, yeah, I mean, I understand, I have.
That's like comparing apples to oranges when you're trying to compare the NJSIA and how they, and I think part of that is also money too, because they know if they move wrestling, that's a big money maker for them. So if they move it, push it off till the end, they may be able to have fans.
It's a precedent for us. It's the precedent we use to ensure fall sports were safe. So it's something we have to at least consider when we're talking about winter sports. So if they change it, we have to at least look at it. But if you're saying that your league and the teams that you wrestle are not changing their season until March, then that's something we have to consider as well.
Well, if you're saying it's okay for us to just practice, if you don't see a problem with that, I mean, can we just get everybody else on the same page tonight and maybe we could start? I mean, like I said, if it changes tomorrow, if the governor comes out with something, we shut it down. I mean, like the mayor said, you can't supersede what the governor's orders. Right. But the governor's orders were that we are allowed to practice and compete. So if we could just go ahead with what the governor has proposed, we like Coach Schultz had said, we have 1 million volunteers, people that are going to, check temperatures and wipe things down, and we have every base covered.
Are the volunteers coaches?
They are.
Because they have to be by the rules.
Yes.
Right? You understand?
They're certified coaches.
You can't just bring in haphazardly people from the side. There has to be a plan. And listen, I'm not trying to be difficult here. I'm just trying to follow the rules, okay, that are put in place before us. I thought that we were starting wrestling on December 1st anyway. I know that it was postponed from this week, mainly because of some of the changes that took place. But, when you say volunteers, I get a little nervous, like how many people are you putting in there? Because there isn't allowed to be anybody in there other than coaches and referees and children that are competing.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I mean, there are people that are volunteering. I have not a large coaching staff. You can always use more coaches, but I have coaches that are, if a child needed to use the bathroom, I have a coach that can walk into the door and just make sure, he gets in, does what he has to do, and he's right back out, and there's no dilly-dallying. I coach it's checking temperatures and has, we have hand sanitizer at the door, and, every protocol that's put in place is adhered to, very strictly. Obviously, we've fought to get the room open. We don't want to do anything wrong and make you guys shut us back down.
Frank, are you guys still committed to that December 1st date? Like, or I guess it was November 30th was the Monday, right?
Yes.
So that's still what your plan is?
If you said we could open tomorrow, I'd start tomorrow. We're ready to go. So December 1st would be great if we could actually get a date.
Why don't we stick with December 1st and barring any changes from the governor? I think that's what we had talked about before.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I'm okay with that.
I don't have a problem with it either, Mayor.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. It will be difficult to start tomorrow. We're kind of a little short staffed with the holidays coming up. So we'll book some PTO time and everything else. So now I would say, at least we can put a commitment in this thing. You can start December 1st. That's fine.
And Mayor, it's Scott. I just like the opportunity to sit down with, or maybe a phone call with Committee Member Hayes, myself, and Craig, just to finalize plans before December 1st.
That's fine.
Absolutely. I'm available whenever you are.
Okay, thank you.
Does that work for everybody?
Yes. Sounds good to me, Mayor.
I appreciate that. And if anybody looks over our plan and there's anything that we need to tweak or we need to tighten up, or just let me know and we'll adjust that as need be. And I understand that this can change.
In the practical sense of normalcy, we wish everything was back to normal. Basketball had a lot more facilities to utilize, and wrestling could do their thing. But we're trying to be very cautious, not to prevent the kids. This is always about safety and protecting the kids. It's not about anything else. That's all.
I understand. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You too.
You too, Frank.
Would anyone else like to address the Township Committee?
I have one other question real fast. Would it be okay as of maybe tomorrow, can we at least get at least myself or maybe myself and one other person to get our key fob turned back on so I can just get in there and clean out my back room, inventory some gear, and just see what I need before we start?
I'm going to say no because of staffing probably. We're going to be, all the buildings are going to be closed Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So I'm going to say probably not till Monday.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Anyone else would like to address the Township Committee? Just making sure. I don't want to rush if somebody would like to jump on.
Real quick, Kim, did you still want to hear basketball's plan?
Yeah, I'm muted and unmuted. If you could just give us a quick rundown of what your plan is, I appreciate that. Or if you want to just email it to me if that's easier for you.
It doesn't matter, whatever's easiest for you and the committee.
Yeah,
we did meet immediately after the meeting, the rec advisory board meeting. We did meet. We have our league meeting tomorrow to get final numbers for our travel program. Just in a nutshell, we were hoping to start practices the 15th of December just for our travel program. And our recreational program, we eliminated the 1st and 2nd grade program just because of the numbers and the spaces. We don't have it. And we eliminated 3rd and 4th grade and 5th grade travel as well, just because of the numbers. We just kept our numbers with the kids that have limited time with our program, have been with us since the 1st grade, our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, because we don't anticipate this going anywhere anytime soon. But when we have 500 kids, we're just looking out for the best interest of the kids. And, on Saturdays and Sundays, those were our game days. And like I said, that's our most important.
Right.
We shortened our rec season to 6 weeks instead of our usual 8 to 10 weeks. And we're also, our recreational program, we're probably not going to have practices just because of the time. We don't have it in the gym. It's going to be games on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then we were hoping Sundays we could have our travel games. We're piling a lot into a 5-pound bag, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yep.
But that's it.
Okay.
I will email you too. I have everything written down. I'll email it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Fran.
Thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Anyone else? Doesn't appear that we have any other folks that want to join and participate through the public portion of the meeting. So, Dan, if you're comfortable, I'll turn over the asked Committeeman Coggins to do a motion to go into executive session. But I know that we want to make an announcement that as we go into executive session, we will come back to open session in case there's any final motions or details that need to take place.
The only thing I question is if Paul can confirm that the screen that he sees, there is no one that was trying to speak that was possibly muted. If Paul can confirm that.
Yeah, everybody's all clear and open to join the meeting.
Okay, well, good.
Right, so Committeeman Coggins, would you like to make a motion to go into executive session, please?
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters are personnel's annual appointments, contract negotiation for fixed asset maintenance, and contract negotiation for annual appointments. I also include in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served with such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality.
Second.
Let's
Mr.
call the
Barr?
roll.
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. All in favor?
Okay, so we'll be back if we have to close the open session meeting after we meet in executive.
Okay, back.
And that vent's going again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm back.
It is going again.
Turn the heat off, Dan.
Well, I figure I only got a couple minutes, so I'm not going to sit in the same place the next meeting.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Is Curtis on?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I guess we have everybody then.
All right, would someone like to take a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second? Would you call the roll?
Second.
Mr. Barr,
Yes.
Mr. Coggins,
Yes.
Mr. Corson,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo.
Yes. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Yeah,
happy
thanks,
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
Barbara, I'll be in tomorrow to sign the
Thanksgiving,
papers.
Okay.
All
Very
right.
good. See you
Okay.
then.
Good night.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Meeting adjourned,
Good night.
9:24 p.m.